Welcome to today's show. I'm your presenter, Salah Sekmet Kafunda. Today we are discussing the role of a political cadre in politics. In the studio today, I have Mr. Kasani, who is going to help me unwrap today's topic. Mr. Kasani, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmed.
Before we go any further, you can please tell us a bit about yourself so that the viewers there can know a bit about you.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm Mr. Kasani. My full names are Edward Kareo Kasani. I'm just a simple guy or a simple man. I'm an entrepreneur and I'm also an IT personnel. That's social about me.
That's so good, Mr. Kasani. Looking at today's topic, Zambians have been seeing cadres around in every political party, and they don't really understand the role of a political cadre. So, in your own understanding, to make it easier for people to understand, what is a political cadre and who is a political cadre?
Okay, so first and foremost, let me just define what politics is. So, we know about the word politics. Politics simply means the activities associated with governance of the country or area, especially the debate between two political parties having power. That's the general definition of what politics. Yeah. But in our country, I think our politicians, they've got their own definition. They define politics in different ways. I can say they define politics as the activities of the party having strongest powers and the debate between...
That's physical power.
The physical powers, yeah. Meaning now, if a party has got strong cadres, like in terms of muscles and other stuff, meaning their debate is about fighting. Okay? So now, who is the cadre? So cadres, they are simply supporters of the state political parties, or in short, they are members of the certain party.
So, from your definition, you mean to say a cadre is just a person who is an affiliated member of a political party?
Exactly.
But where did we go wrong to have cadres in violence?
Okay, so I think the whole ideology is based on our leaders, because them, they don't understand the purpose why those people, they are into their party. Those, they are not soldiers. So
are you attributing the cadres' behaviors to their political leaders, let's say their MPs or maybe their political structures? Do you think those have got a lot of influence on how cadres behave?
Precisely. Because those MPs or a leader of a certain party, if can have a very strong weight to control their members, then we can have 0% of violence in our country. But all this blood we are seeing in elections and other stuff, it is because our leaders, they don't understand the law of the cadre.
So you mean to tell me that political cadres, because to some extent, from your definition, political cadres are necessary in the party.
Yes.
But on the part of violence, that's where we find it quite contagious. So exactly. You mean political leaders who have got higher position are able to finish political violence by cadres?
Yes. Because if you can give cadres their law, the thing that they're supposed to do, meaning we can have 0% of violence. Now, this violence is increasing every single day because our politicians are the ones who are influencing them. You know, way back in 2000, this cadres issue wasn't so high. But in 2006, it became so high. Why? Because we had people who are now using youth to go into violence, which is fundamentally wrong. Someone who is learned, someone who is considered to be a man of intelligence, someone who is considered to be an MP of a certain area, there are same people who are putting youth into violence, which is wrong.
So, since cadres are needed in a party and violence is not needed, so according to you, what is the best practice that we can use to end cadreism in Zambia or political violence?
I think the best way or the method that we can use that we can put an end to this violence is by educating our politicians. We must have politicians who understand why they are politicians. We must have politicians who can understand why they are called politicians. You know, in our country, I think our politicians, they can't even spell the word politics. That's the reason why we've got this issue of violence. Okay? So, you know, politics, you know, if we can just adapt how America, Russia, and these other countries, how they do their politics, it is very okay. It is fine.
But to some extent, Mr. Kasano, can't we attribute political violence and cadreism to lack of unemployment?
No. If we can say that, then
imagine a youth is not working. Then some political party calls them to say, we need to drum up support. And then they're given money. Don't you think a youth would be tempted to be a cadre because they are getting a certain amount of money to some extent?
Mr. Kafunda, that's a result of having politicians who don't understand what politics is all about. You know, a good politician...
But on the part of the youth, on the part of you are unemployed, somebody says, I'll give you 100 kwacha if you do this. Don't you think that's a temptation enough for youth to be cadres?
It
and
is.
To be involved in violence?
It is, but let me just give you a clear picture. You know, if we can have politicians who do understand what politics is all about, they can have clear vision of the country, ways of boosting our economy,
so that is
and ways of providing jobs for our
so
youths.
that is bringing back to the question of saying, don't you think unemployment has caused a lot of violence and cadreism in Zambia?
Yes, it has.
So we are agreeing on one thing.
So now, do you know why it has caused violence? Because the people we have in leadership, they don't provide jobs for young people. As a result, they are using them as tools of violence.
Can we talk of entrepreneurship? Because to some extent, the government is not able to employ everyone. Don't you think entrepreneurship is one of the ways to keep ourselves busy as youths? Even sports to some extent.
You know, I think in our country, we have misused the word entrepreneurship. You know, you cannot become entrepreneur without resources. How can you start a business without capital? How can you build a house without all the required elements? It's impossible. You know, for you to empower someone or for you to engage youth into entrepreneurship, first thing you have to provide capital for them. That's how it is.
Okay, this has been Mr. Kasani on Say today. We're discussing the role of a political cadre in politics. See you next time. I've been Silas Ahmed Kafunda. Bye.